Hello everyone, it's me, Juan, give me 54-minute video. Today, we're back. Yes, we're back, and it's about time to continue off the evolution theory of Bale's SpongeBob theories. If you guys don't know or have been living under a rock, Alex Bale is pretty much done with the SpongeBob theorizing. So, he put in a compilation where we get to watch all his SpongeBob theories in one go, as well as some, bonus ones that we never seen before. So that's what we're going to be doing now. We're going to be watching the evolution theory as well as the bonus theory. And then after that, we just go back watching the originals with the Muse stuff. And then we can watch the remastered ones. Again, there will be a link to the playlist where you can watch both the old versions and the new versions together. But with that being said, sit back, relax, let's go. Alright.
Are the Bikini Bottom citizens the result of nuclear radiation? Who is Pearl's mother?
Ooh, yeah.
What is the Krabby Patty's secret formula? These are by far the three biggest questions in the show SpongeBob SquarePants, and today I'm going to be answering all three of them and more with just one theory. Get ready for the darkest SpongeBob conspiracy you'll ever see.
He was not lying when he said darkest. The Bikini Atoll theory.
By far, the most popular SpongeBob theory out there is the Bikini Atoll nuclear radiation theory. It's pretty simple. It's been confirmed that Bikini Bottom is actually beneath a real-life place called Bikini Atoll. From 1946 to 1958, the United States did nuclear tests there, devastating the area and leaving it radioactive even to this day. The theory states that the reason why the citizens of Bikini Bottom can talk and have formed advanced societies is because of mutations caused by these nuclear tests.
Yeah.
And that's about the whole theory. Even though there's tons and tons of videos about it, none of them actually go in depth with it or really look through the show for evidence. But y'all know that if Alex Bale is making a theory on it, then it's not going to be some baby surface level analysis.
Yeah.
And once I really started looking into this theory, I realized that there is so much more here than anyone thinks. Get ready, because today we're going to be solving the biggest mysteries in the history of SpongeBob SquarePants and changing the way you look at the entire show.
Alright.
So without further ado, let's begin the theory. In order to find out whether the Bikini Atoll theory is true, we first have to determine whether fish talking and being so intelligent is unique to Bikini Bottom, or if that's just the way the SpongeBob universe works.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be that all animals in this world...
Okay, and I know you guys are wondering, what's going on with the pacing? Basically, this compilation is basically taking just the theories, okay? Because he had to cut out a little bit because of the Muse stuff and the lore and the sponsors and all that. So, yeah, that's why it feels like we just randomly cut to another scene, but yeah.
We're able to talk, and that's completely normal because at the end of the day, SpongeBob is still just a cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, if we take a look at Season 10, Episode 10, Feral Friends, we get a bit of a hint about how the SpongeBob world works.
Alright.
In this episode, a green moon appears and transforms all the characters into less cartoony, real-life versions of themselves.
It's crazy that I've been... It's crazy that I'm just now rewatching the entirety of SpongeBob, to be honest.
The French narrator is watching all this unfold.
I just want to see some new theories and maybe I can come up with some.
I have been monitoring the behavior of the green moon all day. It is called Neptune's moon. Every 100 years, it de-evolves everyone in Bikini Bottom into primal fish.
Every 100 years, it de-evolves everyone in Bikini Bottom into primal fish.
Yeah.
So this implies that the characters in Bikini Bottom are more evolved and were once like these primal fish. But this doesn't prove that the evolution only exists in Bikini Bottom. It could still be a worldwide phenomenon. Remember
Maybe.
that bonus DVD clip I found in my television theory? It was about humans studying fish in Bikini Bottom because of their intelligence.
Land-loving scientists have tried to learn the secrets of intelligence. Their studies led them to the sea, where the citizens of one undersea colony demonstrated a genius so enormous, the scientists felt compelled to record their actions for use in teaching mankind how to live better.
This makes it sound
So you mean to tell me
like
that we're
the
just
fish in
learning from
Bikini
them?
Bottom actually are uniquely
You sure about
evolved, and
that?
it's not some worldwide phase. Then, in the SpongeBob
Oh,
20-year
crap.
anniversary special,
Go back.
like the fish in Bikini Bottom actually are uniquely evolved, and it's not some worldwide phase.
This theory contained a secret message from my muse. Every once in a while I say a strange word like phase and the number will appear in the bottom right corner. Arrange the words and the number order to get the message.
Then, in the SpongeBob 20-year anniversary special,
I didn't notice about
SpongeBob's
that.
Big Birthday Blowout, we get a major piece of evidence for this theory. SpongeBob and Patrick take a tour of the surface world and eventually go to a fish store and see some very realistic, less evolved fish.
What kind of monsters would want to keep fish folk in jail like this? They're so beautiful.
They can't talk back to SpongeBob and Patrick, and they're actually able to swim freely through the water instead of being affected by gravity. They are clearly showing us that both evolved and primitive fish exist in this universe at the same time. Now, sometimes we've seen Bikini Bottom characters represented as realistic fish like this, but only when they're out of water, never while they're still in water like these fish. We even see this again in the beginning of the third SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run.
I
The
still haven't
movie
watched
opens
that
with a
movie,
coral reef
so...
full of these realistic primal fish, but eventually we get to Bikini Bottom where the more evolved fish live. So there you go. Direct proof that the citizens of Bikini Bottom are uniquely evolved. This is a very deliberate world-building choice for the creators to make.
Many people ask, what about Sandy? I have never had a good answer for this. I can't find any conclusive evidence of land animals that isn't able to talk. So it's possible everyone on land is more evolved somehow.
So I guess that kind of confirms the Bikini Atoll theory.
Because...
confirmed. We did it.
Yeah,
Woo!
because Sandy
well, let's
talks.
For a second. As much as I'd love to call this theory complete, there's actually one major piece of evidence that gives me some resistance. Something I've never seen anyone else bring up when talking about this theory. Prehistoric Bikini Bottom.
SpongeGar.
We've seen episodes like UGG or SB129 that show Bikini Bottom millions of years in the past, but we still see evolved versions of SpongeBob and Patrick. Sure, they may not be super intelligent or advanced, but they're still clearly way more evolved than the primitive, realistic versions we see in Feral Friends or in the fish store. So, how are we seeing these evolutions millions of years before the Bikini Atoll tests? Well, unfortunately, I think the only conclusion is that the Bikini Atoll theory just isn't true. I mean, clearly something has caused Bikini Bottom citizens to be uniquely evolved, there's no denying that. But whatever caused it took place millions of years ago and couldn't have been the Bikini Atoll nuclear tests. Then, what really caused the evolution? In the entire show, the only thing we've seen that directly affects the evolution of characters is the Green Moon and Feral Friends.
But it's
Except the
also
French
named
narrator
Neptune.
specifically calls it Neptune's moon,
It is called Neptune's moon.
named after the ruler of the seven seas, King Neptune. King Neptune is a character who's been around since the beginning of the sea. He's a character who the Bikini Bottom citizens view as their god, and he's a character who has the ability to change fish into other forms.
What the?
King Neptune used his magic to
not
turn
even
the fish of the
any,
sea
not even a
into more
beard
evolved
or a
subjects
thing.
for him to rule over. He's the one who's been behind it all this time. Hey, Alex from the future here. So before I move on, let's talk a little more about the Bikini Atoll theory.
Okay.
A lot of people really wanted this theory to be true, and I get it. This is like the most iconic, classic SpongeBob theory. And the comment I got the most on this theory was the idea that the prehistoric Bikini Bottom that disproves the Bikini Atoll theory doesn't actually take place millions of years ago. It's actually the fallout directly after the Bikini Atoll tests when life first started to mutate and evolve in Bikini Bottom. And that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that-
you know, it's
that
a
sounds
way
cool.
to maybe keep the Bikini Atoll theory. But here's the thing. The narrator actually says it takes place millions of years ago.
It is here that millions of years ago, life began taking its first clumsy steps out of the darkness.
And we see a dinosaur flying above the sea.
Dang.
I'm sorry, this just has to be from the actual prehistoric age millions of years ago. Alright, but here's another comment I got. If this show's all supposed to be a television theory documentary, how were they able to get this footage from millions of years ago? Well, in SB129, Squidward time travels back to the prehistoric age, and obviously the cameraman came with him, otherwise we wouldn't be able to watch the episode. So,
And Sandy, who also... Yeah, and Sandy would also... If we were... I mean, let's be honest. It's basically confirmed that Sandy is a spy, to be honest. Sandy is straight up a traitor. And... I mean, let's be honest. I feel like she could be... She might as well have a time machine, to be honest. Heck, I'm pretty sure Plankton could make a time machine himself. You know, if he tried doing that. I'm not sure if he actually did, though. But, I mean, like, yeah, I feel like, yeah.
unfortunately, no matter how you look at it, there's no way this episode with evolved fish wasn't actually millions of years before the Bikini Atoll tests. I'm sorry, guys, the Bikini Atoll theory just can't be true.
Dang.
Or At least that's what I thought.
What?
Until I recently rewatched the season 10 episode, Lost and Found. This episode takes place entirely beneath the Krusty Krab. And if you remember, beneath the Krusty Krab is where the filmmakers store secret behind-the-scenes stuff, like the surveillance room filming the characters, or even props used in the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah.
But while SpongeBob is trying to get back upstairs, he passes through this area.
Lost world.
What?
A massive underwater prehistoric area that even has dinosaurs despite it being underwater. The only explanation I can think of for this is, like everything else we see down here,
So the
this is a
dinosaurs are like
fake set
animatronics.
created by the showrunners for an episode of SpongeBob. Meaning, the prehistoric Bikini Bottom episodes we see are most likely faked by the showrunners, and the Bikini Atoll theory could still be true. Also, to further prove this, in a new Season 14 episode, Hysterical History, we get another flashback to prehistoric Bikini Bottom, but it's sort of implied to be at the same time as humans
Where else
existing.
could this random
so
anchor
yeah, really
be?
seems like the Bikini Atoll theory is plausible now. I
Yay!
still think both theories for why the fish are evolved work pretty well. Neptune's moon actually shows us some direct evidence of fish becoming more or less evolved, but the actual Bikini Atoll test footage being used throughout the show doesn't really feel like a coincidence to me either. Either of them fit the theory. I like them both. You could just choose your favorite. Let's get back to
Or
the
you can
theory.
merge them, to
Now,
be honest.
I have an interesting question for you. What is the relationship between evolved fish and primitive unevolved fish?
Alright.
Well, they
The
probably
Bikini Atoll
just peacefully
theory stands,
coexist
we
in the sea
rise.
without bothering each other. You know, just like real life humans and animals. Wait
Oh.
a second.
The war.
I also have some new thoughts on the war theory, but I'm gonna save them for the next mini theory. I promise.
Alright, so we're better be. Oh, so the human war theory is what we're gonna be
That all
tackling
these mini
next.
theories are like Mrs. Puff Part 2s, but a lot of them kind of build off of the previous theory.
Alright.
In Season 3, Episode 10, the Krusty Krab training video, there is this hilarious, absurd moment when they're talking about Mr. Krabs.
After the war, Krabs stayed secluded in a deep
After the
depression
war.
that seemed endless.
Like, what war happened in Bikini Bottom? They just tell us this and then completely drop it. But with this new context, is it possible that Krabs fought in a war against these primitive, wild fish of the sea? I mean, let's remember in Feral Friends, some of those de-evolved fish were massive compared to the evolved fish, and they
were
immediately
eating.
started attacking each other.
The battle for the survival of the fittest rages on in the animal kingdom.
Yes,
Yeah, in
Pearl
order
was
for the Bikini
Pearl
Bottom
and
citizens
Squidward
to
were throwing
survive and
hands for
expand,
real.
They would probably break
Or
into some
fins.
kind of war. And from the sounds of it, this war must have been pretty brutal to put Mr. Krabs into such a deep depression. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
You know, the real
Is
Mr.
there
Krabs.
actually any evidence that proves the war Mr. Krabs fought in was specifically this evolutionary war? Well, through the few flashbacks we get, we know that Mr. Krabs served in the Navy. And yes, they were sailing ships on an ocean, even though they're already underwater. This is actually a real-life phenomenon where certain parts of the sea can have a higher level of salinity, and it looks like an underwater ocean. Shout out Miss Parks, my high school marine biology teacher. We also know from
Yay.
maps of Bikini Bottom that the town is surrounded by this underwater ocean. So that places Mr. Krabs' war outside of Bikini Bottom, where this evolutionary war would have to take place.
Okay.
And if we take a look at Mr. Krabs' home, we see it is full of memorabilia from his past days in the Navy. But hidden within here is something that will absolutely blow your mind and answer one of the biggest questions in the show.
Okay.
Hanging there on his wall is a picture of a massive whale next to a ship. You don't think that could be...
No.
No, it can't be. Pearl's mother?
Dun dun
Wait,
dun.
I want to see it. I want to find it. Hold up. The things that got my eye right now are the fish and this actual person on the wall.
Not sure
there's
why.
A whale. There's a whale. Is it the whale?
Hanging there on his wall
The whale?
is a picture of a massive whale next to
The
him.
whale!
You don't think that could be...
Pearl's mom. I got it. I got it.
Mr. Krabs' whale daughter. The show never really explains how a crab can be the father of a whale, but most people just assume she was adopted. People
True.
have been speculating about who Pearl's biological mother is for years. And
Plus, I
we
don't think they
finally
ever
just found our
mention,
answer.
you know,
We've
this
seen
is
two
my mom
photos of this
asking
whale
or
on a ship
something.
in Season 3, Episode 9.
But I
Just
guess that
one
would be a
episode
little
before
too
we
much
find
for
out
a
Mr.
kid's
Krabs
show.
fought in a war. Since this is among all of Mr. Krabs' Navy stuff, I think we can assume that this is something he encountered and not just some random picture of a whale on a ship above the ocean. The whale is massive compared to the ship. We've seen adult whales in Bikini Bottom before, but they are nothing compared to the size of this whale. We've seen adult whales in Bikini Bottom.
I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely thought this man was. I genuinely thought this whale was probably Pearl's father. Maybe like I don't know, maybe that... I mean, we already see this one is wearing jail uniform, so maybe this whale did something bad that kind of made Pearl like being open for adoption, and Mr. Krabs, out of the goodness of his heart, basically comes in and help. I don't know. I just, for the longest, I thought that we finally found Pearl's father, and you know.
But they are nothing compared to the size of this whale. This has a much closer resemblance to Pearl when she de-evolved in feral friends and became massive. So this has to be an unevolved primitive whale, and the picture clearly shows them fighting. Not only does this prove that there was a war between evolved and primitive fish, but Mr. Krabs definitely fought in it. But this also implies something very dark. Mr. Krabs killed Pearl's mother.
Oh.
The only direct reference we get in the show to Pearl's mother is one of Mr. Krabs' many sayings, Mother of Pearl.
Did he stop saying that?
Mother of Pearl! Holy Mother of Pearl!
He uses it in places
I
something
think
like holy crap or dear God, only saying it when something true.
Did he like stop saying that? Because I tried watching the new episodes, and I don't think I ever heard him saying Mother of Pearl. So like, did he just stop saying that? Strange.
Shocking or terrible happens, because he knows the terrible thing that happened to Pearl's mother. Why did Mr. Krabs go into such a deep depression after the war? Because he's haunted by what he's done. And the smoking harpoon to prove it is right there on his wall.
Dang.
He has the harpoon on his wall, dude!
So, that leaves us with an important question. Why did he adopt Pearl?
Out of guilt.
After he killed her mother, he probably realized she had an infant daughter who had the evolutionary genes. Instead of leaving her to die, he adopted her as his own, all while keeping the dark secret that he was responsible for her mother's death. Okay, well,
Dang.
So I obviously just very quickly skimmed over the fact that for some reason Pearl is evolved, but Pearl's mother isn't, and I didn't really provide a good explanation for this.
But what if the mom whale was a normal whale and had a whale baby? Then why would it have been Pearl? Like, she's the evolved form, right?
Yeah.
That's convenient. She just happened to be evolved. Okay.
Oh,
Honestly,
true.
At the time, I didn't really have one. But I think I may have a possible explanation now. Whatever caused this evolution, whether it was magic from King Neptune or radiation from nuclear tests, whatever it is, we know it happened only within a specific range. So you could hypothetically have a mother and daughter whale, and only one of them was within range of whatever caused this evolution.
Okay.
It would be nice if there was more evidence in the actual show to explain this, but I think this works as a simple way to explain the logistics of it.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Honestly, I'm more surprised that they never showed Pearl's mother. Like, are we ever... I mean, we just now find out Mrs. Puff's husband, right? So you mean to tell me that we still haven't gotten any... We still haven't gotten any episodes where we finally found Pearl's mother? Like, are we just gonna confirm that she's alive? Or did she... Mr. Krabs and her had a falling out? Like, tell me. Like... Seriously, like, tell me. Like, we need to know.
Childhood ruined yet? Well, don't worry. There's still time for this theory to get even worse. Now's your chance to remove yourself before things get really dark.
Got dark. Got dark. Oh, come on. Dark. Got dark.
Still here?
Yep.
Okay, so here's a fun question. What's the deal with all the pets in Bikini Bottom? How come most fish are basically humans, but a snail or a worm acts like a pet? Well, just like humans have domesticated wild animals, it should be no surprise that evolved fish have domesticated primitive fish as pets.
Yeah.
Unlike the massive primitive fish that the Bikini Bottom citizens had to go to war with, there's also smaller primitive fish like jellyfish, snails, spirit worms, seahorses.
Oh, come on,
and
I missed
there's
it
also
again.
smaller primitive fish like jellyfish, snails, spirit worms.
There is no such thing as a spirit worm. This was another secret code word for the Muse ARG. You can see in the bottom right corner that spirit is the 9th word in the message.
Seahorses, and clans that
Okay.
the Bikini Bottom citizens were able to form a symbiotic relationship with. Aw, and I thought you said this was going to be the dark part, Alex. They're living peacefully together. That's nice. Okay,
You shouldn't have said
you
nothing.
got me. Here's another fun question. Where do the citizens of Bikini Bottom get their food? I mean, sure, some of it is plant-based, but there sure does seem to be an awful lot of meat-based food under the sea. I think you know where I'm going with this. The Bikini Bottom citizens eat primitive fish. Haha, it's not cannibalism if they're less evolved than you, right? There's no moral
Dang.
dilemma there.
I mean, what the f else are they gonna eat? Sand?
It's not cannibalism if they're
True.
less evolved than you, right? There's no moral.
Sure, technically fish eat fish in real life, but I still think it's a touchy subject at Bikini Bottom. Look up Quacious Gummy Goo Candy Fish on YouTube for proof. Okay, I'll check it out, I guess.
There.
I mean, what the f else are they gonna eat? Sand?
Exactly. Look, they were gonna eat seaweed? They're gonna eat kelp? Nah, we need meat.
In Season 3, Episode 13, we see direct proof of this when the characters go fishing for primitive clams. This is something completely normal in this world. And then there's the chum bucket, which sells chum. Chum. Chum is literally just ground up fish. The show isn't even hiding this. Now, we don't really see too much of the meat harvesting side of Bikini.
Wait. I just want to know. I just want to ask this important question, right? So Plankton is the owner of the chum bucket, right? Right. That has already been established. Do you think people are gonna catch on that, you know, if chum, right, is basically remains a fish, why is Plankton still, you know, open for business? You would think that would give him a life sentence or 5. So like, does the fish not know that chum is made out of the remains of their fellow people? And where did Plankton get the chum is what I want to know. Like, now this is getting me confused. Like, where the heck did he get more chum? Like, because I know there was this one episode where Mr. Krabs we rat out Mr. Krabs and we discovered that he likes eating chum. So much so that he said that he basically ate the chum from the chum bucket. Now, yes, I know that the SpongeBob episodes are not really episodic. They're usually like some things happen and then other times they didn't happen. For instance, there was this one episode where Sandy basically put Sandy put SpongeBob in a machine that would teleport him from her dome to basically the Krusty Krab. And when SpongeBob was in the Krusty Krab, Squidward was close to him, thus teleporting them both and merging them together. And in the end of the episode, they basically were fused with other characters to be some sort of freakish amalgamation. But then the next episode, they're all right. So I understand that some episodes are not episodic. They're not following the Rick and Morty stuff. But I'm just saying, like, where does Plankton get all the chum? I don't know, that's something.
Bottom, and I'm not surprised they're keeping it on the DL, you know, with the whole cannibalism thing, but there is one secret to making food that is kept more secret than anything in Bikini Bottom. The best kept secret in the entire show. You already know what I'm gonna say. The Krabby Patty secret formula. Throughout the show,
I should probably head to Wendy's to get that Krabby Patty before it's too late.
In Season 4, Episode 7, Mr. Krabs says it's an old family recipe.
Your mother knows the Krabby Patty formula? Of course she does. It's an old Krabs family recipe.
But in Season 5, Episode
It's
1,
still wild that
Mr.
Plankton
Krabs
would try to
discovered it on his
date
own by
Mr.
accidentally
Krabs'
mixing random ingredients
mother.
together.
That's crazy.
Krabs discovered it on
I
his
just
own
saw
by
something, I'm
accidentally
sorry.
mixing random ingredients together.
Unsolved Theory led number 2. Okay, go to the Patrick Show Season 1, Episode 8. Terror of 20,000 Leagues. At 4:42, there's something similar inside the witch's cabinet. And this flashback is true, then is there something supernatural about the Krabby Patty? I mean, let's be honest. You couldn't fool me. I mean, even the mere disappearance, or heck, even a shortage of Krabby Patties got everyone going crazy. They were acting like they were in SpongeBob Mad Max.
I've done it. I discovered the perfect patty batter.
Sometimes it's a secret formula, sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's a secret sauce, and any glimpse we get of the formula is just random nonsense.
Yeah.
There is a ton of contradictory evidence out there, but I think this might all be intentional. In order to throw people off, Mr. Krabs has spread misinformation about the Krabby Patty formula. In fact, he's already done this in Season 3, Episode 18, by hiding a fake formula for Plankton to find that says he's the secret ingredient.
Mixed together with the most important ingredient of all, 4 heaping pounds of freshly ground
Me?
plankton.
And the contradictions aren't just inside.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's also what I'm saying. Like, you see, that's what I'm. Cause now you would think that after Plankton saw that, like once Plankton discovered that the Krabby Patty was made by Plankton, and you don't see it, but I'm doing air quotes. You would think that he would just like buzz off, right? You would think he would just, skedaddle, never tackle the Krabby Patty ever again. Like he's saying, "Oh heck no, Karen, going to Plan Z. We're booming the Krusty Krab for my brothers and sisters." Again, it's just not episodic. So I mean, like.
The show. Even one of the SpongeBob crew members once said that Krabby Patties are vegetarian and contain no meat. But I've always been a little suspicious about what the creators say. They've also said that they're not allowed to show fish as food, except they clearly do with chum, clam.
They also
fishing,
claim
and all
that
the
we
many
never saw
gags with
SpongeBob's
fish trying to
backyard,
feed.
but I know
It's
that's
almost
cap.
like they're not allowed by Nickelodeon to publicly acknowledge this because that could create a controversy, but they could still sneak this dark secret into the show. So, what is the true secret ingredient? Where does the meat really come from? It's strange. We never really see Mr. Krabs get the meat delivered, or at least go out himself to get it. It's almost like he has all the meat he needs stockpiled somewhere. What primitive meat can Mr. Krabs have access to? Maybe he's been holding on to something from the war. What could Mr. Krabs have killed during the war that he doesn't want anyone
Look, I already
to find
know
out
this,
about?
alright? I'm not gonna...
Something big enough to supply him with meat for years without needing more. What could that be?
Oh no! No!
Yeah, I was like that.
You're not about to tell me.
Yes.
What could that be?
No!
Yes. Yes, that's us.
Really gonna make me say it?
We were all saying no.
Mr. Krabs is using Pearl's dead mother's carcass to make
Oh
Krabby
my
Patties.
god.
We did it! Yeah, we solved the mystery! We did it!
How could you be celebrating this?
Season 1, Episode 15, Sleepy
How
Time.
could you be
Mr. Krabs
celebrating
has a dream
this?
that he's on a boat fishing for a massive dollar. This is his memory of killing Pearl's mother, except now all he sees her as is money. And take
Dang.
a guess what name he calls
Maybe I-
the dollar.
What you doing, Mr. Krabs?
Hey, picking Neptune's pocket.
What are you talking about?
I'm not gonna lie. You know what? Maybe we should just keep maybe we should just keep the real Mr. Krabs in the. We're just gonna keep Mr. Krabs in the basement of the Krusty Krab. We'll stick with Dream. We'll stick with Dream, Mr. Krabs. Thank you.
Talking about
I ain't saving him. Don't save him.
It's the mighty Moby Dollar.
Moby Dollar. A direct reference to Moby Dick, a story about hunting a whale. Are you kidding me? And that is the evolution theory. Eugene Krabs' aspirations for money and greed have caused him to do terrible, terrible things. At least his love for Pearl seems to be real, so maybe there's some small amount of good in it. And even though Pearl's mother probably provides tons of meat, eventually he's gonna run out and he'll have to face what he's done. Well, unless of course there's another whale he
Here
has
it
access
goes.
to. Nope. No. No.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. We know that, Truth or Square happened, right? This happened way before we even lose any Krabby Patties. So my thing is, can we really say that Mr. Krabs would do this, or is this just Dream Krabs? Because remember, because of the bonus theory, the imagination theory, we basically figured out that the Mr. Krabs from after the episodes from after Truth or Square and onward is not the real Mr. Krabs. It's just a fake, imaginary version of it from SpongeBob. The real Mr. Krabs is most likely a pack right now, down in the vents in the Krusty Krab, right? So basically, we just need to stop the imaginary Mr. Krabs, because we know that he'll most definitely do this. At least the OG Mr. Krabs, he wouldn't dare think of this. I mean, yeah, it's messed up that the real Mr. Krabs is using his wife, but I don't think he would ever do his daughter. But for the dream Mr. Krabs, money, man. That's what SpongeBob thinks of Mr. Krabs. Greedy.
Krabs wouldn't do that. He loves Pearl. He's not just raising her for Krabby Patty meat. Even Mr. Krabs isn't that much of a monster.
From every side I've ever seen to the sweetest sound I've heard, I'd gladly give up everything for all the money that I've earned.
Huh.
Dang.
Baby, you got something in your nose.
No!
Yes. Yes.
Well, alrighty then. That's the end
Dang.
of that theory. Just gonna end it here before there's any more dark plot twists. Okay, so a lot of people had issues with the Pearl's mother Krabby Patty theory. Specifically, the realism and logic behind how just one whale could create enough Krabby Patty meat for so many years.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't make these theories using real-world logic. I try and use the show's own internal logic. But if you want to bring real-world logic into this and argue about how long whale meat would last, I think the real world actually supports my theory.
Dang.
When a whale dies in the real-world ocean, it has a very profound effect on the environment. Entire marine ecosystems will form around a decomposing whale corpse, and scavengers can feed off of it for up to 50 years. This is
Dang.
a phenomenon called whale fall. And this explains why total chaos breaks out whenever Bikini Bottom runs out of Krabby Patties.
Yep.
Patty is what ties us all together. Without it, it will be a
You see?
complete breakdown of social order.
Aren't you overreacting a bit?
Welcome to the apocalypse, Mr. Squidward.
Just
I
like a
hope
real
you
whale
like
fall,
leather.
The ecosystem of Bikini Bottom is completely dependent on it. Also, another YouTuber, Athena P, pointed out to me that there's this moment in a newer episode of the Patrick Star Show.
What?
This episode addresses Alex Bale's Krabby Patties are made from Pearl's mother theory pretty directly.
I'm Eugene Krabs. Krabby Patties are made with whale oil. You leave my daughter out of this.
Keep my daughter's name out your effing mouth.
That's something. I mean, take that as you will. So yeah, I still think the Pearl's mother Krabby Patty theory is solid. It's at least better than that crab meat theory that people won't stop commenting about. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna quickly debunk that theory, because I know people
Again?
are still gonna comment about it on this video. Here's an extra bonus mini theory. just
Bonus,
because this theory annoys me
dang.
so much.
Ah, come on. All right, we back. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for saying the effing. I said it again. Hopefully, I mean, I think it's fine. Hopefully, we'll see. But just know if I have to do this video again, you'll understand why. But dang, that gave me that Will Smith incident. But dang, that was wild. I'm surprised Mr. Krabs didn't square you in the face right then and there. But anyways, so
This theory annoys me so much.
we're getting two? Dang, Alex Bale be blessing us up.
A lot of people think that Krabby Patties are actually made of crab meat, and Mr. Krabs is going around killing all the crabs in Bikini Bottom. This is the comment I will get for the rest of my life.
Dang.
Crab meat. Actual crab? I mean, why else would Mr. Krabs be the only crab in Bikini Bottom? Except for his mom and his dad and his nephews. Okay, but there's no crabs outside of his family except for this guy and this doctor and this kid and these two crabs and this circus guy. But besides them, there's no crabs in Bikini Bottom.
Well, I mean, like, there's also the fact that Mr. Krabs went into a convention of all the other cheapskate crabs in that one episode. But it has been a while since we last saw them, so maybe Mr. Krabs offed them up.
Okay, even if there is not, like, a lot of crabs, there's equally not a lot of sponges or starfish or pufferfish or squirrels in Bikini Bottom. Bikini Bottom is like 90% generic fish.
True.
Then why is it named the Krusty Krab? Cause the owner's a crab, and that's his last name. But even if we ignore that, it's like, why would Mr. Krabs advertise his dark secret as the name of his restaurant? But then why is the Krusty Krab shaped like a crab trap? Okay, this is actually the one good piece of evidence in this theory. I think it's a little ambiguous whether it's supposed to be a crab trap or a lobster trap, so I did some digging, and Patchy actually calls it a lobster trap in a SpongeBob DVD bonus.
The Krusty Krab looks like a New England-style lobster trap, but now it just traps the pocket change of Bikini Bottom's hungry denizens.
They also find a very similar-looking building in Camp Coral and call it a lobster trap.
Oh no! We've walked into a real
Life.
lobster trap!
I could maybe see this evidence kind of working, but you'd kind of expect if this was their secret intention, they would, like, call it a crab trap, you know?
Yeah.
But what about the scene where Mr. Krab eats one and he says that it tastes like him?
That was because he was old.
That's what I taste like.
This is supposed to be the...
No. That was because, you know, he was so super sensitive about his age. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm pretty sure someone also feels that. But I mean, like, that was because he was super sensitive of the age of that time. Yeah, that was the episode where SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs went to do a panty raid. And it turned out to be Mr. Krabs' mother. SpongeBob, I'm surprised you didn't get fired after that.
Smoking gun
Invading your boss's mother's laundry is crazy.
Well, no wonder. It's all old and dried out, like that man right there. Now put that thing where it belongs, in the garbage. La la la.
All right, Mr. Krabs. First of all, I want to ask something.
Funny. Well, no wonder. It's all old and dried out, like that man right there.
Bruh, why you say F him for? Why does she have to point him out?
Put that thing where it belongs, in the
Keeping
garbage.
eye contact too. What beef?
Well, little Patty, we're two of a kind. We've both lost our luster. So that's what I taste like.
Mr. Krabs says the patty tastes like him because the lady called the patty old and dry.
Keeping eye contact. What's up? What's up?
In this episode. Like, I'm not saying the Pearl's mom theory is the best theory ever, but it's better than this shit. Come on.
Dang.
All right, the evolution theory. I know I like to call each of my theories the darkest theory I've ever made, but like, this is the actual darkest one.
Yeah.
Know it. This is some sick, twisted shit. I think this theory has its flaws and relies on a couple big assumptions, but at the end of the day, it's still just so entertaining and interesting to me that I'd probably still put it right in the middle at 4th place.
Yeah,
even
that's
after all
fine.
the corrections and alternative ideas. This next mini theory is also kind of an extension to the evolution theory, but it's also a really interesting brand new theory about the history of Bikini Bottom and the true purpose of this show. Let's get into it.
All right, the human war theory, and let's see how long we can do this.
So, if there's
Oh boy,
one
my
thing
thing is
I'd
burning.
probably change about my evolution theory, it would be the second part about the war.
After the war, Krabs stayed secluded in a deep depression that seemed endless.
I
Yeah.
think there definitely was a war in Bikini Bottom, but I don't think it was between evolved and primitive fish anymore. There is just way more evidence that the war Mr. Krabs fought in was actually a war between fish and humans. And I think this concept for a human war has been secretly present.
Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This might be a part 2. I know. I'm sorry. I know. I really don't want this to make a part 2, but my thing is literally burning up. I'm sorry. Okay, I had to end it here. Don't worry, a part 2 is coming out in roughly the same day. Alright, it's fine. Just, don't worry, okay? The part 2 is coming out literally by the time you finish watching this video, right? So, I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya. and bye-bye.